Revenge films.
My girlfriend Jill cheated on me 6 months ago. The other guy was not only my boss, but he was my best friend as well. His name was Jack. That was a double slap in the face. What hurt even more was that Jack, who I thought was my best friend, was talking badly about me the entire time behind my back. He didn't even consider us friends. I was destroyed from everything that happened. And Jack and Jill ganged up on me to put me down even further. He's worthless as a man.
He's ugly, poor, and a cheapskate.
I worked at the same company as Jack and Jill. We used to eat together all the time and helped each other out at work. Everyone at work knew how good friends Jack and I were. And my relationship with Jill. They pretty much dropped an atom bomb at work by spreading rumors that I was beating Jill, and that it was Jack who saved her from me. The rumors spread like wildfire, and I had no way to put out that fire on my own. Everyone at work treated me like a villain and Jack like a superhero. I lost all my friends and trust from my coworkers overnight. Of course, I had never laid a finger on Jill, but this narrative that they spread was too powerful for me to defeat, and I was completely isolated in my workspace. Jack didn't stop there, though. One day, when I looked at my pay slip, I noticed that my salary had been drastically reduced. When I looked further, I noticed that all of my overtime had been cut, and I wasn't getting paid for any of it. I brought this to Jack's attention. "Oh yeah, that was my decision. You're single, so you don't need that much money, do you?" What the hell? I was furious, but Jack didn't seem sorry at all. "I'm your boss. This is more than enough for what you bring to the table. Stop complaining." He just laughed it off like it was nothing. My entire world felt like it just crumbled to pieces. I even contemplated ending my life, but one day, the president of my company called me in. "One of our affiliates are looking for a capable worker. What do you think?" He offered to transfer me to an affiliated company, so I took the offer immediately and started working in a new office. I went through hell at my previous workplace, so the reset felt like heaven to me. After everything I went through with Jack and Jill, I was having serious trust issues, and I decided to focus on the one thing that wouldn't betray me: work. Work doesn't betray you, and the energy you invest is always returned in the shape of results. That's what I told myself at least, and just began hustling day and night. The president that transferred me to the company looked after me after I was transferred as well. I heard later that he felt bad for me because I was a diligent worker who was getting good results, but was being negatively affected by the bad rumors that were going around in the office. I didn't have a personal relationship with him, but he just felt that it was a waste for someone who was such a good worker to just be ruined like that. Thanks to Jack and Jill, I had a terrible aftertaste about my former job, but I was glad to hear afterwards that my results at work were respected by the president, and I was very thankful that he decided to act on it and transfer me over to a new environment. If he had never offered me that transfer, I think it would have been finished. So I put all of my focus on work. Soon enough, I was promoted, and my salary more than doubled. I was certified in many skills from before, and continued to acquire new skills after I transferred, which helped me to get chosen as a managerial position for a big project. But even as a manager, I still had trouble communicating with others and kept my distance. But this worked to my advantage. My workers appreciated this distance, and they felt comfortable working with me. There were no after-hour drinks that I had to participate in, and I always had their back at work. I was flattered and confused at the same time when I was told that they appreciated me as their boss. But thanks to everyone's good work, we were getting results, both individually and as a team. I did feel a bit awkward when the other departments asked me what my secret was, though. Around then, I received an offer from a familiar company. It was my former workplace, that company that was an affiliate which Jack and Jill both still worked at. When I saw the names of the people in charge, I remembered getting sick to my stomach. It was Jack and Jill. I still hadn't forgiven them for what had happened. And I was easily in a position of power to get them back. I could have rejected their plan and ruined their contract, no matter how good it was. But I quickly calmed myself down and refused to bring my personal feelings into work. I got a call from my former company, telling me that they were to come over and explain the plan to me. So I waited in the meeting room, the moment of truth. "What? What are you doing here?" Jack looked like a fish in the pond, begging for food as his mouth opened and closed with no words coming out.
Why are you here?
Jill just stared at me in awe. I just bowed down calmly. Nice to meet you. Please take a seat. Jack and Jill were even more shocked than I had expected, and when I handed them my new business card, they just froze in place. Things were a mess after that. They dropped their papers, and their explanations were barely comprehensible. I felt a little bit of weight get lifted off my chest seeing them like that. Jack never ended up getting a hold of himself, and after seeing how successful I had become, he seemed defeated and looked like he was searching for words, but instead just left with his head down. After Jack and Jill left, I called up my former company. Those two that you sent over today were useless. They didn't make any sense at all. There's no way for us to be able to make a decision with that kind of explanation. So I'm putting it on hold. Please send over someone who can actually speak next time. And a few days later, I received a text message from Jill. She saw how successful and rich I had become and started texting me love letters.
You're the only one for me. Will you give me another chance?
She kept sending me messages even though I ignored them all. So I ended up blocking her. Then one day, she was waiting for me outside of my office building and started telling me to remember how much I used to love her. So I called security to take her away. As for me, there was a restaurant nearby that I always ate lunch at, and I started dating the girl that worked there, named Angela. I told her honestly about my past and how I was having trust issues after being betrayed by my ex-girlfriend and best friend. I didn't know what she would think, but she sympathized with me and supported me to overcome my trauma. When I told her that I was afraid to make friends, she told me that I shouldn't try too hard to, and that I should just wait for things to just take their natural course. Those words made me feel much lighter. And one day, I realized that I was really good friends with her best friend's husband. There are still times that I remember what those two did to me and feel anxiety. But just knowing that I have Angela now calms me down. And there was another reason that I felt better about everything. I ended up accepting the plan that Jack brought the other day. But it was a big project with a big profit margin for my former company. And Jack was demoted to a different branch as punishment for almost screwing it up. Jill was still being a liar at work and telling everyone that she was back together with me and that I had begged her to get back together, and she felt bad for me and was dating me again. However, Angela's friend's husband knew many people in my former company as well, and when he visited, he corrected the rumors and told them about me and Angela and how we were about to get married. He even showed them pictures of us as proof, and Jill was instantly exposed. I also brought it to the president's attention that my salary was purposely reduced and how I didn't receive pay for my overhours, and he investigated for me. Upon thorough investigation, they uncovered that Jack and Jill's salaries were increased significantly. Upon exposing their injustices, they were both fired and are scheduled to be prosecuted soon. Back then, it felt like they had destroyed my life. But finally, I felt like I got closure. Angela asked me if she could tell her close friends my story about how I had lost trust in humanity, and I had said yes. So, everyone gave me a pat when they heard about what happened, which further helped me to let go of my vengeance, and all my negative emotions had been lifted. Currently, I spend my days talking to Angela about our wedding and barbecuing with our friends, and going on vacations. Back then, I really thought my life was over, and when I lost my place at work, I thought of ending it myself. But now that I have friends that I can laugh about it with, and a wonderful girlfriend, I have a new appreciation for life.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.